Hello guys, welcome to the next video tutorial on Java programming for beginners. And in this video we will see what are variables and how we can use variables in Java. So first of all, what are variables? Variables are nothing but names which we can declare to store some value. Okay, so a variable is nothing but a name which we can use to store some value. Okay, and in Java there is a specified format to declare a variable. So for example, if you want to declare a variable in Java, in this main method we will go here inside our main method, and in here we will declare a variable like this. So first of all goes the data type. Data type can be, for example, the type of variable we are going to declare. For example, we want to store integer in some variable, then we can declare this data type int, which stands for integer, and then you can give any name to the variable, for example x, and then you can assign some value to this variable, for example 10. Okay, and this simply means that x is a variable of type integer which has a value of 10. Okay, so x in this case is our variable. Okay, and variables are nothing but the names which can store some values. Okay, so this definition is true for us. Now to print any variable, for example we want to print the value of x, we can directly use our variable like this. So we just use system.out.println, and instead of printing some message, you can just print x, value of x here, and when you run this program, it will print 10 here, right? You can also give some you know uh, innovative names, so that you can understand it. For example, my or my variable. Okay, so it depends upon you what name you want to give to your variable, and then you can assign value to it, but the format will always be the same. First, the type, data type of your variable. Second, here is the name, and then whatever value you want to assign to your variable. Okay, now in Java there are different type of data types, like we have declared a variable of type integer, but there are different type of data type which we can declare, and some of the most basic data types are, I'm going to show you how they are declared. So these are some of the basic data types. First is a byte variable, and byte, short, and int, and long all can store a number, but the only difference between this byte, short, int, and long is their size. So byte can store 1 byte, a short can store 2 bytes, a integer can store 4 bytes, and a long can store 8 bytes. So the size differs in this case. Okay, so you can do something like this: byte my variable is equal to 10 also, right? Or you can also do short my variable is equal to 10, right? So a byte can be the range of byte can be minus 128 to plus 127, for example. And for example, for short, the range can be minus 32,000 or something like this. So the range of these increases in the ascending order. So smallest is the byte, then the short, then the int, and then the long. Okay, and all can store the numbers. Now to store some decimal point value, we use float. For example, we want to store some decimal value, we will write a data type called float, and my, for example, decimal is equal to 4.5, right? And this will store a decimal value. But the problem with a declaration of float in this case is you need to declare float something like this in Java, because this 4.5 is natively considered as a double, and double can also store a decimal point, but its range is 8 byte. Okay, so that's why we need to convert this double value, which is 4.5, to the float value. And the difference between this float and double value is float is 4 bytes and this double is 8 byte. Okay, and in the same way you can declare a double value. Double can also store some decimal points, for example 11.56, but in the case of double, so double can be declared as double data type. Okay, so in the case of double you don't need to add this line. This float in the bracket means we are typecasting the double value to the float value, and that we will discuss in the further videos, what is typecasting of values. The other data type is a char. So a char value can store a character. Okay, so for example you want to store capital A or any single character, then you store in char value. Okay, and the last basic data type is a boolean. Boolean can store is true. For example, data type name, boolean can store true or false, so it can be true or false. Okay, so these are some of the basic data types in Java, and these are the example how you can declare a variable in Java. And all these variable you can print something like this. So let's print all the variables. First of all, we will print my variable, second my decimal, third is my double, fourth is the character, and fifth is this boolean value. And let's compile the program and run it. And now the result is something like this. So the first line shows 10. So my variable contains the value 10, that's why it's printed 10. Then the decimal value we are printing, which is 4.5. Then this double value, which is 11.56. Then we have printed this character value, which is A, which is true. And then we have printed the value of this boolean, which is false. Okay, so these are some of the basic data types and how we can declare variables and use variables in Java. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.